then after that, if our representatives from Arkansas Workforce Services, Ms. Wanda, and whoever else is here to speak can come on up after that, please. What we have today is a representative from the Student Conservation Association. The Student Conservation Association offers nearly 1,800, you all, 1,800 expense-paid internships each year with organizations like the National Park Service, the National Forest Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and various other state and local agencies. Internships are in a wide variety of fields, including visitor services, habitat restoration, working with kids, trail work, resource management, interpretation, and various other conservation-related fields. Students, ladies and gentlemen, we have all the students here that can do all of those things, that are ready for those fields. So please welcome Ms. Towns. She's going to talk about these internships. If you have any questions, please see her. You all know that we as a team can work together on those internship applications to make sure you get them in, and they're in on time, and we got the resources to help you with that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ms. Marsha Towns.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCoy. Well, first of all, let me thank you all for having me come here today. And I want to especially thank you for the gracious and welcoming way that I was greeted from the moment I got onto this campus. This is an amazing place, and you should all be impressed by it. In particular, the way that leadership showed its support and encouragement of students, and the way students showed their enthusiasm and just generally friendliness, which I can tell you, I travel all over the country all the time, and there is nothing in the world better than a blessed smile and a handshake from someone who really is happy to see you. So thank you all for that. The Student Conservation Association is our nation's oldest and largest provider of interns, volunteers, and essentially conservation service providers. And we have been doing that since 1957. Our organization actually was started by a student, so the name is appropriate. Her name was Liz Cushman, and her undergraduate thesis was designing a program that recognized that our parks and green spaces were really being loved to death, actually. There was just so many people visiting them, but they didn't have the support necessary to maintain them and to provide those outreach services and education and wildlife programming that they needed. And she also recognized that there were young people who were enthusiastic and willing to learn and intelligent, and that they were a resource that could, if it could be harnessed, could really meet that need. So she designed this program, and her advisor, like an advisor you might have here at Shorter, said to her, you know what? This is a really good idea, and you should do this. You should create this program, much like you do perhaps in your entrepreneurial studies. I mean, she thought, really? I should actually do this? I could do this? And he said, yeah, you could do this. And she did. A little over 60 years ago, she created the Student Conservation Association, and since then, every year since then, young people like yourself have been going out into national parks and refuges and nonprofit organizations like the Nature Conservancy or the Ocean Conservancy or the National Wildlife Federation, and they've been working right alongside professionals in the conservation field doing real conservation work. So within that scope of work, the SCA, and again, I'm Marsha Towns, and I'm the partnership director for this organization. And this is what I do, people actually pay me to do this, can you believe it? I go around the country and I talk to people like you, because we're looking for people like you. Young, enthusiastic, intelligent people who really want to make a difference, who care about service, who care about community. I mean, that's what I saw when I stepped foot on this campus. And so these internships are all over the country. They do happen at different times of the year, although the vast majority of them are in the summer when many people are out of school. Not all, but many are out of school for the summer. And these are expense-paid internships. The minimum requirement is that you be 18 years of age. They are young adult opportunities. And our national internship program has no upper age limit, although most of our interns are 18 to, years ago it used to be 25, not anymore. As you may be aware, the average age of the American college student is rising all the time. So really most of our interns are between the ages of 18 and maybe mid-30s. But we have no upper age limit. I met recently an intern that was in their early 80s, so there's absolutely no upper age limit. We also have special initiatives. There's one for this summer with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, a longtime partner of SCA, and those internships are on refuges, wildlife refuges all over the country. There'll be probably up to 30 of them available this summer. These are full-time opportunities. The training for that program starts in May, and immediately following that, there's a 12-week paid internship with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And we're looking for that program for first and second year students and between the ages of 18 and 25. That's the only program, adult program we have that has an upper age limit because it is an AmeriCorps program and we are subject to their regulations as well. All of our internships are part of the overall national AmeriCorps program. So even if you're not in the special summer program, you could have an opportunity to get an education award for either current education, current student loans, or future education for up to 7 years. You might be interested in the types of opportunities that we offer. They are really quite varied. Some of them are, you might say, well, maybe this is perfect for me. I'm interested in biology and I'm studying that and that's fabulous. But you might be saying, well, maybe this isn't for me. See, I'm a business major, or maybe this isn't for me. Like, you know what, this could be for anybody because the agencies that we work with, they have to do everything. It's like, for instance, let's use the National Park Service as an example. Well, what comes to mind with the National Park Service for most people is that. It's like, you're a ranger, so you're going to be working with wildlife or perhaps habitat restoration, and that could very well be what you do. But also, the National Park Service is one of the largest natural resources federal agencies in the country. So they have to hire business staff, they have to hire human resource people, they have to hire people in law enforcement. I mean, so the other thing that we do across the board is education. So if you're in early childhood education, you could be working in a refuge doing education programs about the refuge to young visitors coming in from school programs or from community centers. So there's really, all kinds of things that can be done. And what I find one of the interesting things about our program is that you'll be working oftentimes with other interns. And if you're part of the summer program that I mentioned, in your training, you'll meet interns from all over the country who are coming together for that program. So you'll all be trained together, and you can oftentimes build relationships that last for years and years. So again, I wanted to thank you for having me come to speak with you. And I also wanted to thank those who came by my table this morning. And I do have some flyers about the program if anyone's interested in those. And there's some contact information on there. And I really urge you to reach out if you have any questions. And also, Mr. McCloy can connect you with us as well. So thank you very much. I don't want to take up any more of your time because we've got some other wonderful visitors here. But again, thank you for inviting me to the school and to chapel.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Towns. We really appreciate that. Like I said, students, please take advantage of those opportunities. give us a call. Give me a call. Come by the office anytime. We'll have the flyers available for you. I know for a fact that we have students right here in this room that will qualify for some of those internships and those opportunities. So please, please follow up with us. Next, we're going to have representatives from our Arkansas Workforce Resources, our team. Okay, well, another group here. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll let Ms. Wanda, if you want to go ahead. And Ms. Wanda is one of our fearless warriors. She works with the Department of Workforce Services with many, many students over there, right here in North Little Rock. So let's give Ms. Wanda a hand.
Thank y'all so much. Again, I'm Wanda Lewis, and I'm a career consultant with the Arkansas Workforce Center here in North Little Rock. We're located at 324 West Pershing. Now, the first thing that I want to tell you about the Workforce Center is all the services at the Workforce Center are free. There's no cost whatsoever for any of our services. We do have a resource area with computers that you may use to do a job search or a resume on your own. If you need assistance with that, we do have a resource coordinator that will be glad to assist you. We also have a copy machine, fax machine, and phone for your use. So if you do need to make copies of those resumes, please get them made at the Workforce Center. Don't go out and pay for any resumes when you can get them done for free. I always like to tell everyone that. Also, if you all need or know of anyone that needs their GED, then we do have free GED classes at the Workforce Center. So anybody is welcome to come in, and get those classes. We also do TABE testing and other assessments at the Workforce Center. And I think many of you have already been into the Workforce Center in the past years to get the career scope and other assessments. So you are welcome to come in if you do need those services. The thing that I'm here today to talk most about is WIOA funding for training. WIOA, again, standing for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. This is money from the Department of Labor. It's in the form of a grant, and it does not have to be paid back. It is up to $10,000 over a 2-year period. You do have to select an occupation in demand and an eligible training provider. Now, what I mean by this is eligible training provider are schools and colleges that have been approved by the state and are on the ACRS list. ACRS stands for the Arkansas Consumer and Reporting System. Okay, your occupations in demand are programs that are on the ACRS list that you can choose from, and when you choose those programs and you go to school and you graduate, then you should be able to get a job in that occupation. That's the reason that they're called occupations in demand, because the big priority at the Workforce Center is to help everyone to get into the workforce. So what we try to do is if you come in and you need those skills to get back into the workforce, we try to be there for you. Now, on this WIOA funding, you do have to be eligible for the funding. There's 2 categories. There's the adult funding and dislocated worker funding. So if you are laid off from a job or terminated from a job and you're eligible for unemployment insurance, then you would be eligible under the dislocated worker program. We also have the adult program. Under the adult program, if you receive T, SNAP, or SSI, that gets you through the eligibility portion. If none of the above, what we do is we take your income from the past 6 months and we annualize your income to determine your eligibility. So a lot of people are eligible, and these are really good services. Now, under WIOA can pay for tuition, fees, and books, and we also have supportive services such as if you're going to school for nursing, you need uniforms, we can pay for uniforms. If you have required equipment, such as a calculator. I just had a client that's in school, and he needed a required calculator for school for his program, so we can also pay for that under supportive services. Transportation, we do have some transportation to and from school, and that's one of our supportive services. So we do have a lot of good programs. I'm going to give you a couple examples of schools and programs. Eligible training providers, Shorter College is on our list of approved schools. We also have the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. We have Baptist Health College, Little Rock. We have the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. We have UA Pulaski Technical College. You have Arkansas Welding Academy. You have Diesel Driving Academy, Pine Bluff Truck Driving School, and several more. On the occupations in demand, two of the occupations that are in demand at the top of the list are your medical and your transportation. So under medical, we can do like registered nurses. I do a lot of registered nurses. Registered nurses, practical nurses, you have your CNAs, you have your radiography, you have truck driving, you have welding, you have heat and air, you have teaching, you have business. So as you can see, these are just examples. So there are a lot of programs that are in demand, and you also have a lot of eligible training providers. Now the locations, I'm going to give you the locations of the workforce centers in the central Arkansas area. If you live in the city limits of Little Rock, there is a workforce center at 5401 South University. If you live outside the city limits of Little Rock, but live anywhere else in Pulaski County, then you can visit the Workforce Center in North Little Rock. There's a Workforce Center in Benton that serves all of Saline County, a Workforce Center in Conway that serves all of Faulkner County, a Workforce Center in Lonoke that serves all of Lonoke County, and you have a Workforce Center in Brinkley that serves all of Prairie and Monroe counties. These are the workforce centers in the central Arkansas area. And so if anybody lives outside that area and you need the address or phone number of another workforce center, we will be glad to get that for you. Just one more quick thing that I wanted to tell you about is we do have a youth program. It's an out-of-school youth program at the Workforce Center, and it's for youth between the ages of 16 and 24. So what we do is you can also, as a youth under the out-of-school youth program, you can go to school, or college, or you can we have programs anywhere from like 3 months or 3 weeks all the way up to 2 years. We are a 2-year program. So, I'm going to give you an example of that. Take, for instance, that you're graduating from Shorter, and you're graduating with a basic degree. You want to go on and get your bachelor's degree, just as long as it's an occupation that's in demand, we WIOA, can pay for that degree. Now take, for instance, if you know someone that does not have any college and they want to go to school, just as long as they choose an occupation that's in demand, again, we have programs that are 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, on up to your associate's degree. So it's really a good program. So if any of you all are interested, we'll be glad to assist you. We have 3 career consultants at the Workforce Center, so any of us will be glad to assist you. One more thing I wanted to tell you about the out-of-school youth program, besides the occupational training and going to school, for a career to get a degree, we also have what's called a work experience program. And under the work experience program, we have sites set up in the central Arkansas area. For example, we may have attorneys' offices, we may have insurance agencies, boys and girls clubs, retail. So what they do is if a youth comes in and wants to be on the work experience program, they work at these sites, but WIOA pays their wages. And, and at the end of their training, their work experience, they have gained skills and work experience to get into the workplace. So several good programs are available at the workforce centers, so please visit your workforce center if you need any assistance. We will be more than glad to assist you any way we can. And again, I want to thank all of you for your time, and I want to thank all of you in the past, just like you were saying. Everybody here at Shorter has always been so wonderful to me. And every time I come, everybody's so nice. I have never had anybody be rude to me at all, and I want to thank you all for that. You certainly are a great group. And thank you so much. I just want to say, too, that I wish each and every one of you the very best. Thank you so much.